Last time, Joan of Arc demonstrated how pacifism could overcome English tyranny. This time, we're answering the same question for Frederick Barbarossa. Is the will of one man enough to forge an empire without killing a single enemy unit? You know the drill. We're allowed to convert units, delete units, destroy buildings, kill wolves, and make enemies kill each other. We're not allowed to kill units or to trust Henry the Lion. We have a variety of challenges ahead of us, including scenarios without villagers, a dangerous march, and an unreliable narrator.
But I am an old man now. What harm could I possibly do?
So let's jump right into it and build up a pacifist empire. We start in the middle of Germany, surrounded by 6 enemies. In the spirit of pacifism, rather than fight our neighbors, we steal from them instead. 6 relics are scattered throughout the countryside, and of them we endeavored to collect 4. We start in the Castle Age, but we'll need to move quickly, as our opponents grow overwhelming in numbers if we leave them unharassed. Let's start gathering resources and training monks. Saxony has 2 towers standing watch over the northeastern river crossing. We'll hasten ourselves to raise them, clearing the passage and ensuring safety for our monks. One problem, though, is that we can't put our castle on no attack stance. We'll just have to delete it so that it doesn't kill any enemy scouts. But that leaves us without anywhere to live, and we'll need to invest quickly in our housing infrastructure if we wish to continue training monks. We'll also add in some walls to keep us safe from the early scout and spearman raids of our northwestern neighbors in Lorraine. Scouting our opponents, the Austrians have a castle and the Bavarians have a sturdy layer of stone walls. These fortifications are a bit too daunting for us to overcome. Instead, we'll concentrate first on Bohemia, Burgundy, and Saxony. Bohemia starts in the Castle Age, but they have few resources and only a single monk. We'll research atonement at our monastery, allowing us to convert monks. One of our knights gives a little love tap to a villager, drawing out the Bohemian monk, and since they don't have atonement in turn, we convert their monk without fear of reprisal. Then our knights can level their monastery in peace, ejecting the relic for our monk to return to us. Simultaneously, we attack the Burgundians, our old foes from the Joan of Arc campaign. They start in the feudal age and, just as the Bohemians, have a single monk without atonement. We'll draw it out to convert it, use our scout to distract the tower, and teach their monastery a lesson with our men-at-arms, rewarding us with a second relic. Next, we trek back north, towards Saxony. They start out with a monastery, but they're in the feudal age and don't have a monk, so they leave the relic just sitting about in the middle of their town. We dock the river and use a transport ship to bypass their walls. A few knights distract their archers while our monk runs in to grab the relic. That leaves just 1 relic left, and we'll grab it from Lorraine. Lorraine likes to train spearmen. Lots and lots and lots of spearmen. Building up a force of knights and converted units, we move out across the bridge on no attack stance. But Lorraine, insisting on bloodshed, comes forward to meet us. Our knights charge at their monastery, eventually forcing the relic out. But that leaves one last, dangerous task for our monks, who still need to return the relic to our monastery. And our monks are met with fierce resistance. Spearmen to the right of them, spearmen to the left of them, spearmen in front of them, stabbed at and thrusted. As they run back to our base, we find that we're no longer alone. The other opponents whom we had earlier harassed are back, and they're out for blood. Blood to rival that of Lahir's sword. As our economy burns, we build a second monastery, just so that our monk doesn't need to walk quite as far.
By capturing all of the holy relics, you have re-established the Opposition as Holy Roman Emperor.
With 4 relics garrisoned, we have the holy power necessary to demonstrate the superiority of our pacifist ways as we complete this scenario with 0 kills. Henry the Lion. Oh, Henry the Lion. We all know him as the little lion who betrays us, and there are 5 ways that he can betray us. 1. Destroy the northernmost Polish castle. 2. Wait for a timer of 33 minutes and 20 seconds. 3. Bring military to the southern Polish base. 4. Bring military to the northern Polish base. Or 5. Set Henry to neutral or to enemy ourselves. We need to defeat both Henry and the Polish. For Henry, we need essentially to get rid of all of his units. And to force a resignation from the Polish, we must raise their 3 castles and their 2 siege workshops. This scenario is one of those infinite unit spam ones, where the Polish get free resources and continue to send wave after wave of reinforcement status. The gimmick in this scenario is that we don't have any villagers at the start, and instead, our allies will be slinging us so long as they're alive. To deal with Henry, we treat him as though he were our teammate in a game of 4v4 Black Forest. That is, we send mangonels over to attack around his base. We also destroy the gate guarding the pen, where we'll later capture some villagers. We'll leave his castle as the last building we destroy, though, as we can use it to fire on the Polish soldiers. Meanwhile, we send out our starting forces to destroy the Polish docks. The Polish don't have any villagers either, so once we destroy buildings, they're gone for good. This attack also keeps the Polish forces occupied, so they don't run around our base and kill our buildings. Oh, and one more thing. That defensive castle in the middle of our base? We need to delete it again. If left up, it would end up killing something. Oh, goodbye, population space. You'll be missed sorely. Once Henry's buildings are down, we take some Polish forces and run them into his army. The Teutonic Knights are strong, but even they don't last forever, and the infinite spam wears them down. Once we have a clear path to the villager pen, we use our knights to distract the Polish while sneaking some rams around the side to take out their first castle. We periodically tap the Polish soldiers with our swords without killing them, in order to make them more aggressive in chasing us. After the castle goes down, Henry, who no longer has a base or an army, decides that now is the right time to betray us.
Barbarossa, I have some unfortunate news for you. You see, it is I who should be Holy Roman Emperor. Kneel before the lion!
We pick up villagers and start to build up a base, while we run circles around the Polish with our knights. The extra melee armor for Teuton knights comes in handy here, although the absence of husbandry is stinging. Once we get some monks out, we can convert the Polish war galleys. These ships have been harassing us all game, but since we destroyed the docks at the start of the mission, the waters will now be calm. Eventually, we're able to click up to the Imperial Age since we run our knights around in circles for, well, forever, and the Polish never get to attack our villagers. We use a few monks to convert the few remaining rams and Teutonic Knights of Henry, then finish off the Polish castles and siege workshops with a combination of cannon galleons and landing.
Ja. Bu wäre.
There we are, 0 kills. The biggest difficulty in this mission is just keeping track of our troops while they're running in circles. If we forget to set one of them on no attack stance, they'll retaliate and kill enemy soldiers. This one is pretty difficult, probably even worse than the cleansing of Lorraine, just because we have to keep such a close eye on our army the entire mission. Barbarossa exemplifies our non-violent values by sparing the now pacified Henry the Lion, leading us into our next mission. In contrast to the last mission, Pope and Antipope is rather easy, and we can get a campaign achievement while we're at it. Load up all of the monks and the scout on the transport ship while using the market to sell resources for researching Redemption and Sanctity. Redemption allows monks to convert buildings, and Sanctity gives monks extra hit points so they survive a bit longer if we get attacked. Then we use the war galleys to distract the river guards while landing the monks north of Milan. There's a trade cart here that runs into the city, and we can use the scout to hold the gate open for the monks. We'll attack a building with a scout so that Milan focuses on it. The monks can then take a quick stroll over to the cathedral and convert it.
The cathedral is ours, so then is all of Milan.
This short scenario is a much needed break after the long slog of Henry the Lion. 0 kills, nice and easy.
Our fort is under attack by the Lombards.
We start under attack from Padua and are forced to run away. Henry the Lion is also here, and he makes a self-aware comment about the Teutons' lack of husbandry.
I will send my knights to assist you, though I fear they will be too late.
He's also supposed to betray us again, but we'll just beat the mission so quickly that we won't even give him the opportunity to do so. Our main objective is to construct a wonder inside of one of the enemy cities. But if we look closely, we see that the area for the condition that checks for the wonder in Venice extends outside of the city onto the land to the east. So instead of fighting, we can just build the wonder there. Even better, as we run away and build a market, we can adjust our economy to have sufficient resources to start the wonder immediately. We'll put up a few walls just for a good measure, but that's about it. To celebrate, the rest of our units can do a patrol dance. That's also to occupy the Venetian navy so they don't kill our villagers, but mainly it's just a dance party to celebrate 0 kills. After the festivities die down and the wonder goes up, we win the scenario immediately. No need to defend it after the construction. That's how powerful pacifism is.
Thus shall the Lombard League realize the might of the Holy Roman Emperor.
Getting 0 kills on this scenario is probably easier than is playing through it properly. Barbarossa's March. We march overland because our 70 population starting force is too big to be carried on a fleet.
But Barbarossa's army was the largest by far, and there wasn't a fleet in Europe that could transport it.
Naturally, our first objective is to obtain a fleet of ships. We'll start by using our paladins to soak up fire from this galleon while the monks convert it. The Saracens have heresy, so the ship sinks, but since it was a conversion, it doesn't count as a kill. Next, we come up to a house that's not quite abandoned and use the same trick. Our paladins take one swipe at the Mamluks to aggro them, while the monks sit back and convert. Now, it's time for our halbs to act as bait. We bring them up to Constantinople and attack an outpost. The Byzantines focus on the halbs as we run them away, letting our paladins slip through the gates and run straight to the wonder.
Very well, Barbarossa.
Yeah,
You have made a
this way
point.
so.
I will
This
allow
way.
you to use my navy if you will
Haste?
take your looting crusaders
Sasa.
and leave.
There used to be a bug in this scenario where all of the Saracen ships would converge and attack as soon as we acquire the navy, but that, thankfully, has been fixed. So we can deal with these ships the same way we dealt with the English in the Siege of Paris. We just sacrifice a couple of ships to draw them out of the way, where they won't see our transport ships trying to cross. Once we land, there's an enemy monk whom we can convert. There are several towers and a castle we can destroy from long range with our trebuchets, and there's a few Turkish soldiers whom we can lure away using some of our paladins. And that's the last of the enemy units we'll face. We take a shortcut through these trees by cutting them with our siege onagers, then we just stick to the edge of the map to avoid the remaining enemy units. There's a few wolves up ahead. Just like us, these wolves are pacifists. We can roll our siege all around them, and they don't attack it. It's so lovely to meet some new friends out here. Oh, I know what we should do. Let's celebrate our new friends by having an attack ground party. Now we just head over to the camp and win.
The forces of Frederick Barbarossa.
Ich soll.
What happened?
Dies war.
You look like hell. Head for the castle. You can rest there.
This scenario is another easy one in which to get 0 kills, now that the Saracen navy isn't as aggressive as it used to be. Unfortunately, Barbarossa dies in the cutscene between scenarios, leaving us to deliver his body to Jerusalem. A simple trade cart, filled with the pickled body of a red-bearded emperor. We have one goal: bring the corpse to the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. Since the Persians and Saracens don't view us as a threat, we can walk all of our starting units directly into the center of Damascus. If there's one lesson to be learned from the Barbarossa campaign, it's this: betray your allies before they betray you. First, we'll construct 2 castles and a couple of houses, giving us enough pop space to train some petards. We'll also build a siege workshop, and, just as we did with Henry the Lion, we'll proceed to mangonel down the city's southern wall using attack ground. Once we're through, we delete our castles, just so that they don't kill someone while we aren't looking. We approach Jerusalem from the east. The towers are menacing, the walls fortified, but we must press on. First come the petards to bring down the outer walls. The rest of our troops stand around to draw fire as we venture deeper with our paladins, our petards, and our emperor. One more layer of wall stands between us and our destination, but it crumbles before an explosion of gunpowder and determination. We run in, allowing Barbarossa to keep his promise.
This war.
The Emperor has reached Jerusalem. Not in the manner he expected, but it is one final victory for Frederick Barbarossa.
0 kills here completes 0 kills in the entire campaign. And there we have it. 2 similarities between Joan of Arc and Frederick Barbarossa. They both, 1, can complete the campaign with 0 units killed, and 2, have a fixed force scenario to get units from one side of the map to the other in their 5th mission, die in a cutscene after that mission, and then require running a trade cart to a destination in their 6th mission. The similarities are uncanny. I doubt anyone has ever seen the 2 of them in the same room at the same time. Anyway, that's it for the Barbarossa campaign. I'll have more pacifist videos upcoming, but until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.